What's going on, guys? Your boy Joshua Bogies and Bullshit here, episode number 7, current events. Let's talk about it. First off, public service announcement. I am not a professional by any means on any of these topics that I'm speaking about. This is just me going off the dome, trying to get a conversation going. So please, if I offend anybody, apologies in advance. I'm just trying to, get something going here. Number 2, I want to thank everybody for following me and subscribing. I appreciate it. A lot of love this week. We're crushing it. Let's keep it going. You guys that keep me going. At the end of the day, I started with nothing. I'm working it up little by little. Bogies and Bullshit was started because I was in my feelings about something and I went on a little rant and it helped a lot of people. But I want to keep it going. I don't want to make it just about divorce. It's going to be about relationships and family and work and current events and politics. Whatever we're going to talk about, we're going to talk about it here. Everyday life, and that's the kind of situation that it's going to be. What's going on in the world, though? We got a lot of stuff going on, right? We got, everyone's, hating on Trump because he wants to bring the National Guard in to stop a lot of the chaos that's happening. We got, Jimmy Kimmel back on the air because he was a little crybaby. And then, we got Pete Hegseth trying to bring the military standards back to, American superiority. That's great. What else we got? We got chaos in Chicago, chaos in Oregon, chaos in New York City. We got the mayoral election coming up pretty soon. People are getting a little scared about, the mayor of New York City because of his socialist views. And, Eric Adams dropped out. Now it's Cuomo and Curtis Lewa, which, Curtis Lewa is the man, but, he has no chance in New York City, unfortunately, New York City is a very liberal city. You got a lot of outsiders coming from other states that moved to New York City. Now they're registered to vote in New York City, and they vote for the mayoral election. And unfortunately, Curtis Lewa is a Republican. And, a great guy. Started the Guardian Angels back, I believe, in like the 80s or, maybe late 70s. I'm not 100% sure on that. But he started the Guardian Angels because the city was such a disaster that he wanted to help protect it, and he knew that the police were shorthanded. So he started the Guardian Angels that would help, and it was volunteers. And he continues to do that kind of work today. So Curtis Lee was a great guy. So, unfortunately, I don't think he has a chance in New York City because of the liberal, majority that takes over New York City. But, this guy, Zoran Mandani, he looks like he's leading. It's going to probably be him versus Andrew Cuomo. But the problem is with that is that Andrew Cuomo was the governor of New York State, right? And, a lot of people liked him. But that sexual harassment thing that he had going, really put a damper on it. He had to resign. And that brought Hochul in. And then Hochul ran, and she ended up winning the election. I don't know how, because everybody I know hated her and didn't want anything to do. But, I don't know how she came into office. But Andrew Cuomo resigned because of this whole sexual harassment thing. And I don't know, people forget, people don't forget that kind of stuff, man. I know you could come in hard and they think he's the front runner and stuff as far as like the best option to go against Mandani, but like, I don't know, man. Female voters are not going to forget. And it's a scary time for New York City because what is this going to turn into? They're so, gung-ho to push this whole socialist ideology, but like, we've never had that before, and it can be a really bad thing. So, I don't know what people are thinking. If you're watching and you're a resident of the 5 boroughs of New York City, like, you need to go out and vote, and you need to make sure that you're voting for the right person. And, don't let someone's, dumb decisions as far as like flirting with a girl in the office affect your vote, because, the other side of the things can be really bad. Socialism is not going to be the best look for New York City, trust me. And people are like, oh, what's going to be free healthcare? It's going to be free this and free that. But like, someone has to pay for it. And the taxes are going to be what's paying for it, So your property tax, your the city tax that comes out of your paycheck, because the city tax is your paycheck. Like, that's something that you really got to think about. And it's a scary time, man. It's a scary time. I don't know what people are thinking out there. Like I said, the world is changing. I never even thought like this kind of stuff would happen. And people just, they're so anti-Trump, establishment and government, that like they're willing to vote for the change, but that change could be really bad on us. So you really got to look into, your decision as far as who you're going to vote for if you're in New York City. And let me tell you, the people that are outside New York City, let me tell you something. This can affect you guys too, because if New York City changes, the rest of the world will start following, especially other big cities in the United States will start following. And like I said, we got to be really careful what we do on this one. But so that's some current events that's going on. Eric Adams dropped out. I think Trump kind of pushed him to drop out. Like, listen, man, you got no chance. Let it just be Eric Adams. Let it just be Andrew Cuomo that goes head to head with him. So I don't know, what that situation was, but let's hope it was the best decision. Curtis Lewa, more power to you, brother. I really hope it. I really hope you win, man. That'd be good. That'd be a good look. And you're a good dude. So anybody out there, look into Curtis Lewa. You might really enjoy, what he could do for us. He's a good dude. But let's talk about what's going on the other side of the United States. Portland, Oregon. Portland, Oregon is chaos. I don't know if people remember during George Floyd riots and COVID and all that stuff. Portland, Oregon was a fucking disaster. Like, they started that demilitarized zone called Chad, and it was like chaos in the streets. They overtook, areas of the city. Like, it was a disaster, guys. So, and JD DeLay, shout out to JD, he went down there the other day and he was streaming from there, and it was chaos. You had Antifa. That's like a really big Antifa stronghold, and guys are all masked up, blacked out, bullhorns, sirens, bright lights, antagonizing, starting fights, and this is crazy, man, because this sets the precedent, right? Because then other people are going to get that idea that they could do the same thing, and then we're going to start having these kind of situations pop up all over. Chicago is going to get worse. New York City is going to get worse. People are going to do it in LA, and all these liberal states are going to get hit with this, right? People don't do this in Republican states. Just saying. In red states, none of this stuff goes down, because the leaders of those states don't allow that kind of stuff to go down. You're not going to see this stuff happen in Florida. I'll tell you what, right now, if there is any kind of protest in Florida, there's so little, because the citizens of Florida are not even about that. So like, it ain't happening. And if it is happening, it's so minimal, and it's not going to get to the point of Oregon, because DeSantis is not going to allow that to happen. Strong leaders is a huge thing, guys. Like, people don't understand. You need a strong leader, will lead strong followers to battle. You have weakness leading the pack. It's gonna destroy everybody. A weak leader leads to weak followers, leads to defeat. So like, that's why I say these elections are so important. I know a lot of people feel like you don't have a say, like you're just one vote, it doesn't mean anything. Like, I know I was talking to some friends that live in the city, and they're like, it doesn't matter. We can vote for Sliwa, but like, we're just one vote, and it's not gonna do anything when you have the whole other side leaning towards somebody else. I bet you that one vote counts, man. If that one vote counts, and another friend votes, and another friend votes, and another person votes, and it keeps going, those votes will add up. So, but strong leaders is huge, man. And you got to be a strong leader. Like I said, every man's got to be an alpha. Every man should be an alpha. And when you have an alpha leader leading other alphas, then you have a strong group. And that's why Florida, does good. Like, I know, like, Florida is trying to get rid of the whole vaccine mandates. If you agree with it or you don't, it kind of leaves it up to the parents to decide what they want to do. It's not mandated. If you want to do it, you can, but it's not mandated, so it leaves it up. And if you have an issue with it, then homeschool your kids, so, but that's how it should be. Like, we should have the option to do the things that we want. If I want to vaccinate my children, then that should be my option. If I don't, then it should be my option. And everybody wants to talk about, oh, well, freedom and this and freedom and that, and then this guy's a dictator and this guy, but like, when someone's telling you what you have to do, that's not freedom. That's a dictatorship. When they're abolishing that kind of stuff, oh, we're abolishing the vaccinations, that's freedom, because now you have a freedom of choice. And the same people that say my body, my choice are so good about when it comes to abortion, but when it comes to vaccines, it's like a whole different world. I was watching something today. Mark Zuckerberg was saying, I'm sure I'll get fact checked for this, but Mark Zuckerberg was saying that, on the Joe Rogan Experience, that the Biden administration was really pushing the censoring of anybody on Facebook talking badly about the COVID vaccine. That's not freedom, guys. That's tyranny. When they're controlling the media, controlling what people say, that's scary, man. That's not your freedom of speech. And I feel like we're having a lot of issues with our constitutional rights, as we go into the future. And Ronald Reagan said the scariest words in the human language was, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." We don't want all this government oversight. We don't want the government involved in everything, right? We don't want them forcing vaccines. We don't want them, telling us what we have to do with our children, what we have to do with our lives. We hate the fact that we have to pay income tax. I saw something. Trump was trying to, this whole budget, they're really working on the budget. It's like a big thing with the government shutdown, and Trump had to get rid of 25% of IRS because he really wants to implement the no federal income tax. He said, why are we enriching other countries to make our citizens poorer when we could be tariffing and taxing other countries and making our citizens richer? And if we get rid of the the federal income tax, for every $100,000 that you'll see $22,000 more in your yearly, salary. That's great. Give me that money, bro. I need that. I'm struggling. Making ends meet is very hard. And you're raising kids and you're doing everything on your own. Like, hell yeah, let's get rid of that income tax. Let's get rid of it. And that's what people are not understanding. Everyone's all about socialism. Not everybody, but the left is very, gung ho about pushing these socialist ideologies, but they don't understand that nothing is free. Someone is going to have to pay for this at some point. Whether that's your income taxes getting increased on a state level or on a city level or your county, whatever, however it works in other places. And also your property tax is going to increase. Sales tax is going to increase on state level and in the city taxes and stuff like that. I know New York City gives a city tax on things. And I know that the state does their sales tax. That stuff's going to go up because people are going to have to pay no matter what, because nothing is free. The government doesn't even have the money to give all this free stuff. So, guys, we got to really think about it. Got to be smart decisions. Got to think about, every decision you make, because your decisions that you make now affect your future. So be smart about it. Don't think that, free means that it's going to be better. Yeah, it might be free. Might be free healthcare. It might be the shittiest healthcare that you'll ever get, though. You walk in the doctor and he's like, all right, yeah, that looks good. Okay, next. Because it's going to be, an influx of people. Everything's free. They're not going to have the resources. Free does not mean better. And that's what I try to, tell the people, when they see something that's say, oh, look, this thing is, you like this one that's $49, but this one right here is $29. Just because it's cheaper doesn't mean it's better. You buy once, cry once. And at the end of the day, That's what people have to understand when it comes to this whole socialism stuff. Just because it's going to be free doesn't mean it's going to be good. Yeah, it can be free, but it might be a disaster shit show. So, at the end of the day, make better choices, right? That's all we can do. I'm going to leave this one short, guys. Have a good one. Like I said, thank you to all my subscribers. I appreciate it. I got like 500 new subscribers this week. That's amazing. Let's keep it going. Let's get to 1,000. Let's keep this going. Every week, we're going to have the Bogies and Bullshit segment. Bogies and Bullshit is going to be me chit-chatting in the car like this, putting out a weekly episode. Then we're going to have the question of the day. The question of the day comes out every day. And I hit you guys on questions about relationships and marriages and divorce and, you know, and I'm going to even throw in some other things in there and see what people have to say about it. Question of the day is going to be a daily thing. We're going to have Alpha Male of the Week. We're going to have Beta Male of the Week. I'm doing lives at least twice a week. Check me out on my live. Comment. Hit me up. Support the channel. I would really appreciate it. You know, I'm now eligible for like these super likes and like the super chats where you can hit me off and, you know, help support the channel. I could buy better equipment and keep this stuff going. So I appreciate it. I'll put my PayPal in the link as well. Everybody stay safe. Just do what you got to do, man. Make smart decisions. Don't do anything stupid. You know, the way you feel now, you're not going to feel tomorrow or in the next couple of days. So make sure that you don't make any decisions based off of emotion. Like I said, guys, Bogies and Bullshit, weekly episode, lives twice a week, and question of the day every day. Stay tuned for more. Please like, subscribe, comment. Please hit me in the comments. That helps the algorithm and it helps me understand things. A lot of people direct message me, but it's better to hit me in the comments. It'll help out this channel so much. Again, guys, thank you. Be safe and burn the ships, baby. Have a good one.